on scene. 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. We'll give all the business and do all the politics at the end. And only 3 freestyle sessions left before the playoffs. So I got Germ, robed up MJ, the branded billionaire, aka Ham. Get the cop the merch. We'll definitely plug the merch later. Trav somewhere in the cut, probably on the gig. He'll probably be kind of hopping in and out, fellas. We have 9 days left in the season. And it's got to be a busy last 9 days. We got things to figure out. We're going to talk about whatever, man. We freestyling it. Until the playoffs get here, we have no agenda. We have no script. We going off the top. But we're going to start the day with a little quiz. Our man, Jern, has been tasked with figuring out the play-in system. Because we've been trying to figure this out for 2 weeks and nobody can figure it out. So we're going to start the proceedings with what is the play-in system and talk about some possible matchups because we got to figure it out. So, Jern, you're going to lead the proceedings today. What the hell is the play-in system? Who's in it? How do the matchups work? How do you advance? Give us to the people.
So, good afternoon, good people. Hotep Germ in the building. I just want y'all to know I will be on Dick Gregory time today, just so y'all know, and that's just what we're going to go with. So, play-in game is really, it's actually simpler than we thought. We thought it was going to be 2 games that you had to win if you were the lower seed, but actually, in this situation, is actually a lot simpler. So, our 7 and 8 will play. The winner of the 7 and 8 game goes to the 7th seed, and they are solidified in the 7th seed. The loser is now the home court team in the play-in game. The winner of the 9 and 10 matchup is now automatically pushed into the 9th spot. They are put right there in the play-in game. And then those 2 teams duke it out for the 8 and 9 proverbial seeds from there. The winner of that game is the 8th seed, and the playoffs commence from there, which commence from that point. And then after that, on the 21st, we will know the 7th and 8th seeds of both the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Now, as far as the teams that are going to be in these games, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up the standings so everybody can see everything like that. But the big thing here that I want everybody to remember is we got to understand 2 things. It's a couple of games left to make some serious impacts from a couple of these teams. We're going to actually start in the Eastern Conference. And we're going to check out the standings here. But as we see,
before you advance on that, the winner, okay, when you solidified the 7th seed and the 8th and the 9th seed is fighting for the 8th seed, how many games do the 8th seed have to win, and how many games does the 9th seed have to win to get that 8th spot?
The 9th seed, the 8 and 9 game that comes after the 7 and 8 and the 9 and 10 game, they only have to win 1 game. It's only 1 game. So it's a 1-game shot. The thing is, 7 and 8 have 2 shots to win and get to take the 8th seed. Just like the 9 and the 10 have 2 shots to win. So the goal is that the winner of the 7-8 game, they get the 7th seed. The other team gets the home court advantage because they were the higher seeding and the higher ranked team. So they get the home court advantage against the winner of the 9 and 10 game. Okay. The winner of that game it's only 1 game. It's a 1-game scenario. The winner of that game goes right into the 8th seed. The other team gets the 9th seed, and then that's where the playoffs commence. The time frame they're going to do this is May 18th through May 21st. That will be the time for the play-in games, y'all.
The weekend.
Yep.
No, that's not the weekend. That's the week after.
That's actually, what's today?
I thought, what does it fall in on the calendar?
16th, because the 16th is Sunday. That's the last day of the regular season. So the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st is Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, there you go. Big
Midweek
shot
action.
with the calendar.
Yeah.
So now we have the Eastern Conference. We got the Bulls, we got the Raptors both within 4 games. However, what it's looking like to me right now is I see the Pacers, I see the Wizards. I don't really see anybody catching those 2 teams. They're both playing really, really good basketball right now, if you ask me, to keep and solidify their spots currently. So I'm actually looking forward to the 9 and 10 matchup here with the Pacers and the Wizards. And the 7-8 matchup as of today is the Hornets and the Heat. That should be an interesting one. But here's the crazy part about this. The Hawks are a game ahead of both the Heat and the Celtics. If the Hawks have a bad stretch, the Hawks will be in the play-in game against the Hornets. Or the Celtics could be in for a bad stretch and they could be in the play-in game. With that being said, I doubt the Knicks have a bad stretch because the Knicks do something that all of these other teams struggle to do. Let's play some damn defense. That's all I can say.
True that.
So, passing it to Big Shot, as we get the ball movement going, if you had a preferred matchup, who would be your preferred matchups going in with the teams that we currently have?
If what I would prefer is I would prefer Boston to hold on to 6, because I think a Boston, and now because they've had a slight little bump, Boston versus Brooklyn or Boston versus Milwaukee becomes a very interesting first round matchup. I think Brooklyn, we've talked about this with Brooklyn for the last 3 weeks. Health is going to matter. And I think if you're Brooklyn and you end up with Boston, you should beat Boston. But maybe this is a series that goes 2 games too long.
Right. And
So
currently
it becomes a little bit more. It becomes a little bit more difficult than what it should be. So my fandom, I hope Boston stays 6. I think Boston becomes a really interesting proposition for Brooklyn and or Philadelphia.
Oh, you mean the Bucks
or the Bucks? Yeah. So my preferred is whatever allows Boston to stay at 6.
Okay. Ham?
I like it as it's currently constructed, but give me the Wizards getting in the party. I don't care where they at, 7 or 8. Just give me them getting in the party, and I'm cool with. If I had to choose between the Heat, the Hornets, and the Cheese Toast got to roll. Although I like Sabonis, I do rock with Sabonis, and they got my guy Karis LeVert over there too, but they're still Cheese Toast. The Hornets can bring some good playoff excitement value, especially they got LaMelo back in the mix. And sign me up for anything that's like involving a 7-game series with Jimmy Butler. I'm cool with that. He coming to war for a reason, him and Bam, but if out of the 4 that's in that bottom 4, I know I love you, Indianapolis. All that, y'all cool. Shout out to you, Hoosiers, all that shit. But they will probably be they're the exiled ones for me. I'm really hoping that the Wizards get in, and whatever the other 2 fall in, it's cool with me.
All right, MJ.
Yo, what's going on,
What matchups would you like to see from your perspective for the play-in games on the East side?
From the play-in games, just the play-in games alone, I would like to see the Wizards play the Hornets, and I would like to see the Hawks play the Pacers. Then I would like for the Hawks to get 7th seed and the Wizards to get the 8th seed.
Okay.
So ultimate playoffs I want to see the 76ers play the Wizards. I want to see the Nets play the Hawks. I want to see the Bucks play the Celtics and the Knicks play the Heat.
Trav, are you there? Can you give me a scenario that you would like?
Well, I'm kind of would agree with Big Shot with his. I would like for Boston to keep that 6 seed. And what's that? That's the Bucks at the 3 right now.
Bucks is at the 3 right now. The Nets are a half game up on them.
Yes, I want that matchup. I want that as a playoff matchup. But man, Washington sneaking in, they playing some good ball to make it the 8 seed, and that's gonna be very interesting, especially if somehow, some way, the Nets can sneak up as a 1 seed. Russ against KD, very interesting. But as far as that goes, so I like y'all scenarios as far as Washington and the Pacers and all. So, but overall, I agree with Big Shot on this one.
All right. Shouts out to everybody in the comments on YouTube and also on Facebook. Trav, Mama Milam is on. She is saying hi, guys, and happy Mother's Day to me. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
So with that being said, we're gonna shift over to the West real quick, fellas, and we're gonna go take it from there. So as of right now, we got the Spurs at 10, the Grizz at 9, the Warriors at 8, the Trailblazers at 7. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Trailblazers and Lakers tonight at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. They got some business to tend to. So that winner will automatically have and own the tiebreaker for the rest of the season. So the Lakers have lost the tiebreaker to the Mavericks already, and they cannot go higher than them if they get tied with the same record. If they lose tonight, that means they will automatically not be able to jump over the Trailblazers as well if they are tied with that. So, with that being said, for the teams that are in the rear view, we got the Pelicans, who are playing some very, very interesting basketball right now in this stretch. They have Golden State again before the end of the season and everything else like that. But do not be shocked if they find themselves in a way in this play-in scenario. The Spurs, sorry, Trav, they're sliding right now. But part of it is because of schedule. The schedule right now for the Spurs is death row. Like, ain't nobody dancing in their video. Ain't nobody coming out there doing none of that trash. It's just old-fashioned death row, you know. So let's start here. I'm gonna start with Trav. Trav, do you want to see your Spurs get into this play-in game? And what are some of your ideal matchups that you would like to see?
We're not playing like playoff like we want to be off in there. To be honest, we're not. If we get in, it's all good. If not, oh well. So that's how I see it.
That is overall, premium alkaline energy right there. Premium.
Hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I gotta tell the truth. I mean, it is what it is. But I want to see the Grizzlies finally get in because they got snubbed last year. Well, they didn't get snubbed; they just got beat. But I would like to see them off in. And the Warriors, them the two I want to see. But they'll be fighting for it. So we'll see what's going on.
So next, I'm gonna come to Ham. Ham, what scenario would you like? What's your preference here?
My preference is for the Grizzlies to beat the hell out of everybody that's before them. That's my preference. But get in the party. I mean, it's a step. It's another stepping stone. It's another block for them to move about. I felt like coming back to the same scenario where they are now. I looked at the way that they ended last year, where they got halted at around about the 60-some game mark in March. I felt like they were still going to get in around then. Then they go to the bubble and they lose like 6 straight to start out before they even get a W. Here's what I do know. Keep San Antonio shot making ass away from us. We don't want nothing to do with these people have ruined May ever since we ruined they May 10 years ago. That's not our fault. It's our fault, but it's not our fault. Look, they didn't know. When did y'all streak stop, Trav? Was that last year or was that the year before?
It was last year.
Okay, that was last year. See, they just spent these folks been in the playoffs almost your entire lifespan up in the last year.
I mean, what you want me to say?
It's kind of like my response too. What you really want me to say aside from keep them people away from me? Keep the people away from us, man. We tired of because see they'll get in and they'll get in the matchup with us, and then they'll go shoot 61%. DeRozan got 36. You know, it's just like you got dudes that you forgot was on the team. You know, we ain't got time for that kind of activity in May, man. We already ain't got Memphis and May, Trav. We need to let us get those. Just saying.
I'm gonna go to the coolest guy in the room with the shades on and the hood on. The hoops Yoda in the building. My guy MJ. What's your scenario that you got for me, oh wise one?
This is my mucus-free scenario. I would like to y'all stupid. I would like to see. This is what I would like to see. Because I don't want to see a hobbled Lakers. I don't want to see a Lakers that hobbles into the playoffs and not be able to give me full-fledged what they can give me. With Anthony Davis injured, with LeBron going through an injury, I would rather them not make the playoffs because they're not at full strength and they're going to have an excuse if they don't win. So I would rather for them to just not play, end up falling out the top, put the Trailblazers at 6. I want to put the Warriors at 7, and I want to put the Pelicans at 8. Sorry, Ham. From a matchup standpoint, I want to see the Jazz and the Pelicans go at it. I want to see the Suns and the Warriors go at it because Chris Paul and Steph Curry has unfinished business. I want to see the Clippers and the Blazers because Playoff P and Dame Lillard have unfinished business. And I want to see for the 4th and 5th seed, I want to see who is the coldest European player in the league. That's going to be what this battle's going to be about. Is it Luka or is it Jokic?
I ain't mad at that.
And Big Shot.
Sign me up television.
Big Shot? I don't know how you follow that, but I mean, go ahead, brother.
So I want the Lakers to stay at 6 because I do want the Battle of LA for material purposes. So keep the Lakers stay at 6. The playing matchup is going to be really fun. Because if you think of the level of star that's going to be in that bracket, in that group, if you could have Dame, Steph, and Ja in NCAA tournament type scenario, which I am for.
And Zion.
I think, I think San Antonio was going to make it because I think they've built up just enough cushion on New Orleans that I don't think New Orleans is going to make it. Because first of all, New Orleans, I get we're in an offensive league, but you have to at least attempt to play it. At least attempt to play it. And they don't even attempt. So I think San Antonio is going to get in, but I think it'll be a short stay for San Antonio, even if it is against Jay Ham's beloved Grizzlies. I just don't think San Antonio has. They're a team that's probably in need of a turnover. And I think Pop is kind of starting to turn that thing over. I think if San Antonio gets to the 10th spot, I think Memphis gets them out of there in the 9-10. So that's my scenario. But I know MJ talked about not wanting to Lakers because they're not healthy. But you know what? If you look at this game, and Ham, history, great teams end when they get beat up too much.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons of the 80s got the Celtics out of there because the Celtics were beat up. The Bulls got the Pistons out of there because the Pistons were beat up. And sometimes the old dog has to get put down.
Yeah.
Samurai way, the samurai way.
Samurai. If you watch Yazuki on Netflix, if you watch any kung fu movie, sometime the old master got to get put down.
Yeah.
And for the Lakers, whatever, LeBron getting put down in the first round is worse than not making the playoffs.
And that's the reason why I think that they won't make the playoffs, because he'll lose in the play-in, and then he'll figure out a way to go and complain to the front office, and then it will no longer be a play-in. That's what I'm planning for, because I love when people hate LeBron. It's funny to me. Right. I love when he flexes power, and this will be the ultimate flex. In my last few years, I got the commissioner to overturn the play-in. After last year, I said it was cool.
Right. He did say it was cool last year.
Hey, I'm rooting for that,
man. And he can really make a valid case as to why it was cool last year versus what
it is. It's actually right valid, to be honest.
Make a valid case. Because
the point remains.
You had to shorten. You got a shortened season this year, but look at the way things were shortened last year.
Yeah.
It was very ununiform. It was kind of on the fly. And it's like, okay, let's just put these 8 scrimmages back out here for these folks to try to get their legs up underneath them, and then we'll move. Yeah, the whole league wasn't even invited to the bubble.
Yeah.
That's the excuse alone right there. This whole thing wasn't even, it wasn't even everybody included.
Yeah, his point on the plane is valid, but it's just the point that you was kind of with it last year. I just think you never thought you was gonna be in this predicament, and now you here. Now you here.
That's why I was telling y'all in the inbox the other day, like, no, don't cry there, because you're gonna catch us in that 9-10 if you keep losing, and if you lose to us in the play, that's a parade. That's a parade in the bluff, Chief. I'm trying to tell you.
Let me tell you, that's if a Memphis beating the Lakers in a playoff series, that's historic.
That ain't Hollywood enough for me. I need the Warriors to beat them in the play-in.
That's even better. Because that's a state war.
Hey, look, not even just the state war. That right there puts the whole Steph Curry supporters versus the LeBron supporters. That right there.
And that's material. I'm all for anything that gives us material.
Look.
Look. So, speaking of the playoffs, and Jeremy, we got to get your preferred before. But speaking of the playoffs, Monday, May 17th, on Monday night, Monday, May 17th, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, we're going to have the playoff preview show starring you. Not us, starring you. You the fan. We'll give y'all details on that. Playoff preview show, May 17th, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. So before we skip it around to the next topic, whatever that's going to be, Freestyle Friday, we don't know. Jerm, who's your scenario? You didn't give us yours. Who would you like to see?
Honestly, in the West, sign me up for Dame and Steph. Sign me up for that 7 and 8. I just don't. It just wouldn't be. What would be more American than Steph versus Dame for Dame and Steph to both be able to claim a playoff spot? Then let's take it to the next level of this. It's time for the Grizzlies to take that next step.
I agree.
I think at the end of the day, and it's time for the Spurs. Sorry, Trav. It's time for the Spurs to fade the black.
You talk, hey, Jerm, samurai move.
It's time.
Samurai move.
Pop is out here looking like he was with Paul Revere on the horse when he said the British are coming, and it's time for him. About that time for him too. I'm just saying, man. I appreciate Greg Popovich and what he means to the game.
Hey, Oleg, Ham, MJ, y'all remember O Yeller?
Wow, on a crypto coin. He deserves it.
But give me. I want to see the Pelicans get in too, but I'm gonna say 2 reasons why. Because they got some interesting contract situations at the end of this year, and if you get in, that validates somebody like Lonzo to get paid. That validates for you to at least be able to say, you know what, Lonzo's worth this $20 million.
Hey,
Because look what happens now that we got him on our team. And look at our culture is starting to shift a little bit with some of these players that we have. So as much as I'm not on the Brandon Ingram fan club or fan bus, this at least gives the validation that you're headed in a good direction.
and I'm gonna tell you like this too, John. Utah without Donovan Mitchell playing against a New Orleans Pelicans team in the 7th game.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Look,
That's a problem.
And then in the East, who you like?
In the East, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like watching Washington the last 2 weeks. I have liked watching them.
Yeah.
Pacers. I mean, as much as I like Sabonis and LeVert, after you watching them two, the rest of them folks you can do without them. Like
cheese toast.
Hey, I can't even call them cheese toast because I actually like cheese toast.
I do too, but it's just such a basic snack or an accessory to a bowl.
Okay, how about the cheese crackers?
Play like a Wisconsin AAU team.
The Pacers are salad, but it's no croutons,
right?
No grilled chicken, no Caesar dressing. It's just it's salad.
It's that joint from at the machine.
Yeah, it's the machine. Yeah, very perfect machine salad.
It's the machine salad, man.
And the thing is too with the 7 and the 8, I would like to keep, as much as it would be nice, I would love to see the Hornets get in LaMelo's rookie year. But I think overall, I think the Heat will beat the Hornets, and I think the Hornets ultimately would lose to Brad and to Russ. I don't think, as much as I like what they do in there, I just don't see that Hornets team being able to beat a motivated Wizards team. And again, that matchup of that 1-10 match, that 1-8 matchup with the Wizards and the Sixers, that's fun.
Hey,
that is fun.
That's why I want to see the Hawks on the 7th and the Heat in the 5th or the 6th. Because Hawks, Hornets, Pacers, Wizards.
Yeah.
The Wizards and the Sixers become fun because to steal a word from my man J Ham, Russ and Embiid got Anna.
The serious Anna.
They have a history of we don't quite get along like that.
Right.
We know Russ is a rabid dog come to playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Russ on 100. Brad Beal hasn't been back to the playoffs since what, 15 with John Wall and them.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm the Wizards getting to the real playoffs is what I really want.
That's what I want.
Place to play.
Right.
Wizards real playoffs.
Let them get the 8 or the 7. I'm cool with either one of them. And I need for Russ to play the exact same way he's playing right now.
Absolutely.
Don't start chucking that ball and putting up 30 or guard Ben Simmons full court. Don't do it. My brother can ask, Katie. If I see that man guard Ben Simmons full court, I'm going to have a problem. I'm telling you. It's going to be a misunderstanding.
Yo, that man crazy.
That man can help himself.
He going to slap the floor and everything. Like, no, he ain't a scorer.
I can see it. I can see it happening. I swear I can see it.
Already. Hey, you know, Ben is real snooty. I know he talking. He going to talk hella shit in his ear. I already see it.
Hey, man. That's why it's so funny.
That show would made me laugh at it. It's like Ben gonna talk super bad.
With that accent, talking that Aussie accent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I pulled this up real quick just to show. The Pacers have a really, really interesting schedule here. They can't afford to lose no games. If they lose this game, they lose the tiebreaker. Which they may have already lost the tiebreaker. Then they got to play the 76ers. Even if the 76ers don't suit up everybody, that's still a bad matchup for them in a lot of ways. So is the Bucks. The Lakers is going to do everything they can to get in, which leaves us right here at this game, right here.
Tampa Bay Raptors.
Now, I bring up the Raptors for this reason, right? You see where the Raptors are right here?
Yeah.
They got a shot. And I could realistically see this Raptors team beating everybody on their schedule just to get to that.
Play it right back up to that spot.
Playing back up to it.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. That matchup is a problem for everybody because they have at least the horses to make it interesting. With them still having Kyle, you still got Van Vliet, you still got OG, Pascal. You know, I ain't calling them what the announcers in Toronto like to call them because that's against man code.
Yeah.
But they are a team that has a realistic shot of making it, and they could jump the Bulls and ultimately the cheese toast of the Eastern Conference. So
I respectfully disagree.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
That Clippers and that Mavericks ain't gonna happen.
You know the reason why I can see the Clippers happening, MJ? Because I can see Kawhi and PG both sitting down in this game saying we ain't got nothing else to play for.
That's real.
And that's because that's the time of the season that we at. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes down to the Mavericks, that's one of the last games of the season for them. They know the Lakers not going to jump them, and they know they're probably going to be stuck in that 5th seed.
Very valid.
What do we have to play? So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
No, very valid points.
You know, that's all I'm saying. With that being said, you know, that's all.
When you mention that, especially coming down to that stretch, even if you know that you're in, how many are going to take that night off versus staying within rhythm?
This is the key. And I'm going to pass it right to Big Shot after. The key is I noticed that these teams, especially these guys like Kawhi and players like that, they'll take the rest. They take the first 2 games of the series normally, and they get themselves acclimated into what the playoffs is going on anyway.
Get their playoff legs under them.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, Ham, your point is was very interesting because this last 9 days that we talked about, most teams are playing minimum 5 games.
Memphis is playing like 8 and 12.
That's like the entire league is playing like 5 games in 9 days, whether you in the contention or not. So if this season ends on the 16th, the playing start the 18th, I could see a team saying, you know what? Let's see where we at the middle of next week.
Because you look at it, even like when the conventional 82 year, your season end on a Wednesday, you're not playing no more the Saturday or Sunday. So you got a couple days.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You in Friday or whatever day it is, or you roll right back over 2 days. It's kind of like the bubble with travel though.
That's why the race to the play is so interesting, because if you get into that first 6, you play Sunday, you don't play again probably till Saturday. You get 6 days off if you can get into that 6.
And here's something interesting too that we have to put into play. The NBA Finals don't start till July 8th.
Different body clock.
That's summer league. That's yoga time. That's time with my family.
Different body clock. Just like last year, you started in October with the finals. That's training camp. So you roll that, and then just think about it. Over these last 3 seasons, we had a June finals, an October finals. We're gonna have one in July.
That's why this whole subject, we want to stick on this too long. That's when they talk about the Olympics and whether you should go, whether you should not go. Take the political part out of it. If my season doesn't end until July 15th,
and the Olympics start a week later,
I'm not going to Japan a week later. Not so. But that's another subject. But I think, Jerm, I'm glad you finally got us straight on the play, because I ain't gonna lie, I was confused.
I think we all was, but I was looking at it like, so it's no second game? No, we're just doing one? I was like, okay, cool.
My mom's asked me about it the other day. I told her, man, tune in at 2:30 Friday. Jerm gonna let you know what it is.
Hey, look, I'm just glad we know now. Now that we know it's solidified and everything else like that, it makes it fun so we can see where the matchups go. Like I said, I'm here for the same. With like any matchups that we discussed here on the show, I would be down for. But I would also sign me up for Toronto finding a way to get in too. Sign me up always for them.
Yeah, I think of all the scenarios. The two that I want the most, I want Washington to make the real playoffs. Is number one. And the more I think about it, I really want to battle LA in the first round.
I just
think it's just, at this point in my life as a basketball fan, we're not super fans of Stanley. I root for the story.
Yeah. This is WWF to me at this point. Like, so whichever one gets an opportunity to provide the most ratings, that's what I'm going for. And it's funny because breaking news, Zach is blowing up my inbox right now because Leicester City is getting their ass whooped. You know what, Zach? Thank you for letting me know. But right now I'm on the show. We're going to talk about that later sometime during Tuesday. But them Foxes for, I swear. Back to the lecture.
Yeah. So give me a story. And to me, the Battle of LA is the most interesting story.
Absolutely.
Is the story we didn't get. MJ, you talked about, and Jen, Dame versus Steph for a playoff spot is a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Considering in playoff matchups with Steph on the floor, Dame has no wins there.
Because you think about that. And Ham, you a wrestling guy. German's a wrestling guy. The story is you finally conquered this dude. And Dame probably in his mind, and I don't think he's even that far off. And MJ, you could talk to this too. Dame probably feels like for the last 5 to 7 years, I'm as good as he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cena and The Rock.
I'm as good as he is.
John Cena versus The Rock.
He got the MVP. He got the rings. Right. He got the commercials. Everybody loves him. And I'm as good as he is. But people treat me like I'm a second-class citizen now.
And I can put it in modern day wrestling terms. It's Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Same caliber style of dudes. And they actually had a feud about 2 years ago that was A1. But it's the same kind of dude that kind of mirror each other. And then they right there in those close quarters together. But their rivalry is like, it's grandfathered there. You know what I'm saying? Pacific Division rivals. So they playing each other 4 times a year. 3, 4, whatever the schedule is now.
They've made in the playoffs, what?
3 times, I think. Right. 16, 17, 19. And
19,
3 of those. And 2 of those ended in sweeps.
19, he swept that man. And Portland led by 15, 4 straight games.
Yeah.
And got swept.
Yeah. That's
Dollar versus in a play-in.
And also you got to factor in the Terry Stotts factor. He got to lose leave town clause.
Yeah, Terry
got hanging above his head.
Terry.
So
yeah,
that might be the high. That's a high story right there, though. I like that one. I can't think of one that'd be better outside of LA.
That's writer's room material right there.
Of course, also Knicks and Nets. Brooklyn, Manhattan. I'm cool with that. First time the Knicks been back in the office in like 8 years. So they had a decade stretch, and then they actually may get the host. They may get the first round.
I think the Knicks will win this series wherever they play.
You know what? And I laughed at something when Jeremy had the records up. They 8-2 in the last 10, and that's the best overall in all the Eastern, with the Eastern Conference. So it's like they're playing the best ball right now. I like that. That's good stuff, man. I can't even bash the Knicks, man. This is beautiful.
The Knicks.
The only thing I'm mad at is they ain't playing my rookie, but that's personal.
I feel you there too.
Yeah.
I understand it.
No, I understand why he doesn't play either. And we know when if you don't get it done early with Tibbs, he ain't quickly came out the gate fast. He earned Tibbs' trust early, man. So
yeah,
shout out to him, man. So here go a question, Jeremy. I know Jeremy is about these real estate. He about this money. So I was reading an article today, Knicks related. Julius Randle. If you are advising Julius Randle, Jeremy, you on Agent Jeremy. The bigger bag, apparently, is actually 2022. He can get a good one this summer. With 2022, he can get the monster bag. What you telling me? Are we going to test it this summer? Or are we going to wait?
So it depends on what his goal is, to be honest. It's kind of like the post I made in 94. Is it about the money? Or is it about the championship window? Is it about that? Guns and butter, baby. Guns and butter. As I convert back to Hotep Germ. So do we want him with the guns or do we want the butter? That's what the key here is. I personally, I'm taking the guns all day. I don't want the butter. Because he's already in a situation where he's going to be able to make a decent penny wherever he goes. Because now, what he's proven in the league now is he's proven now in the league he can be a part of a big three.
Mm-hmm.
What you've proven that, you don't know if you're going to be the second or third guy, but the second or third guy still get good money there. So it doesn't matter if you're the number one paid guy on your roster. Do you want that scrutiny or do you want the third guy scrutiny? For Julius Randle, take the third guy scrutiny with the third guy opportunities. You can catch and shoot. You can defend multiple positions. You have shown that you can rebound above average. You've shown that you can move the basketball via moving it out of double teams and things of that nature. But the even bigger picture is you've shown that you know how to play off of stars your entire career up until this moment.
Yep.
So now we need to know what stars are we going to go play off of?
So,
Jerm, that's perfect, actually. Because I think for the Knicks, if you're kind of back in the, I'm not going to shade them as irrelevant. You have an opportunity. You have a big opportunity to not only be a playoff team for a while. DJ, we talked about this in private. We know that in Brooklyn, as much as I love the trio, we know depending on what day the wind blows, one of them could go.
And didn't get money. Yeah. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at with Julius. This is where I'm at with Julius.
Go ahead. Where are you at with Julius?
Julius is only 26 years old. See if you can get it done by yourself in New York. Not necessarily by yourself. Obviously, allow Tibbs to be able to develop the young guys. Maybe, just maybe, with that system, you can be able to bring over a key piece that can complement you. But with the style of play that Julius Randle plays, I don't even want him a second or a third option because I don't think he will be as effective. Unfortunately, he plays better with the ball in his hands. He needs autonomy to get it off the glass and push. He needs time to be able to get the ball in the mid-range area and go to work. Mm-hmm. He is already surrounded by shot blockers, so it allows him to focus on the mid-range, taking away the mid-range and the three that we always talk about because he got Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson behind him. He has a Hall of Fame guard. I couldn't wait to say that. He has a Hall of Fame guard coming off the bench in Derrick Rose. He's only going to get another pick. And because it is New York and it's now starting to become hot, New York will have the money to bring in a second guy. Like, I would love to see like a Pascal Siakam play with him. I think that'd be a great compliment to him. Because Pascal can just go ahead.
I would say it's tailor-made for him. That's what I was thinking too. The spot. And you broke it down exactly what I was thinking. Like, he don't need to be no second or third. This is him. He found his money. You know what I'm saying? So But look at that and just seeing a culture. I won't call it an overhaul yet, but it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? It's getting to the point to where their culture is turning into the positive. Like I said, they last 10, they 8-2 with like 6 to play. Good shape. They set to host the first round. Build from that. And then hopefully we can see our young boy Obi take the turn, turn the corner, get off the pine, get himself in the rotation, just to acclimate himself as a pro in that way. I'm actually excited for that organization though. They got some good shit cooking over there, man.
And if Tibbs actually play Obi, they won't even need to go get Pascal Siakam because Obi could be Pascal Siakam or a little better.
True.
Something I kind of wonder. Y'all remember when Tayshaun was a rookie? And he didn't play a lot. He didn't play a lot.
Yeah, didn't play a
regular
lot.
season. But when they got in the playoffs,
yeah, man,
he acclimated himself in. Dude was starting.
They are going to be. I think if you are Philadelphia or Brooklyn, you're not scared of the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
But they just going to be annoying as hell.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Celtics Bulls in Derek's first year, where you knew they weren't going to beat Boston,
we weren't going to beat them. Like, we still here.
They damn it did.
Like we damn, we in game 6 with them.
Right.
And the beautiful thing with the Julius Randle situation for him, he came in with a very low bar. It's like finding the woman that already been with the dude with a lot of money, but it was an abusive relationship. And she, at this point, don't care about none of the stuff that they post on Facebook as far as what a real man is or none of that. She just wants love.
Mm-hmm.
She just wants to matter. That's how the Knicks are right now. The Knicks, all of that snobbiness and all of that arrogance that they had, those fans, they're out the window now. They just want to be in the show now. They just want to win. So Julius Randle came in a perfect time because he will be revered for the rest of his life as long as he keeps them competitive. That's the bar right now. Just be competitive.
You know what's in any MJ? He's doing for them, which kind of leads me to my next topic. Jeremy, will have you jump in. When Ham comes back, he's doing a great value version of what Melo did when Melo first got to the league.
That's what he's doing.
He's kind of brought this franchise from here to here. And now I'm happy for the young fella because I thought Julius was destined for a career of just looting and a riot. Julius getting 19 and 10, but who cares? And he's played unbelievable basketball this year. Like he's one of the stories of the and how good he's been this year.
So I'm not against anything in particular, but as I said at the top, like I guess the thing for me is just really direction for him. Like where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think that he's necessarily a bad player, but is he a top 15 player in the league where we're going to say, hey, we're going to invest into this guy and we're going to put the guys around him that he's going to need that are going to complement his skill set. Part of the thing is, I think wing players for the Knicks, they have to find some guys that are on that Brandon Ingram, Andrew Wiggins type of diet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the key for them. But I'm looking at the free agency list for 2021.
It's not great.
Oh, no, it's going to take time.
It's not one of them situations where I just look and I say, well, if you're going to stay with the Knicks this year, right? If you stay with the Knicks this year, even with that, if you add Chris Paul, even with Chris Paul being the age that he is, I'm not saying they add him because I'm not saying it makes sense, but he would be a better player. So would Kyle Lowry, so would DeMar DeRozan. So you kind of naturally in these situations, does Derrick Rose decide that he want to stay? Is this where Derrick Rose wants to finish his career, or does he want to go and try to chase a ring, or does he stay there with Tibbs? If he stays with Tibbs in the 6-man role that he's in, he's excelled in that role. He's played excellent in that role. To go along with Julius, they have to find wing players. So if we're just talking about just this year, I mean, do we want Otto Porter?
No.
If you're the Knicks, or do you say, hey, Kawhi? Or do you hit up Kawhi Leonard and say, yo?
I'd rather have Mr. Porter off D12.
Hey, okay. All right. See. They don't need my band.
Hey, he's saying a million hooks.
My band, Roxanne. Oh,
he's saying a million hooks.
I mean,
no, I get what you're saying. You're trying to figure out how to hit the roster. I get it.
Because it's just I want him to have the best, the best complementary of players around him, because we talk about it all the time. What a player he will be tailor-made to play with? KD. Jimmy will be good too. But KD don't need the ball to be effective. He's gonna get his 19, 20 shots.
And I think to MJ's point, I think Ham said it too, is I think the Knicks are in a spot where you could say next year, okay, this season we played with house money. Regardless of what happens in the playoffs, this was a great year.
Mm-hmm.
We could get swept, don't matter. Is I think you probably if you're the Knicks, you show a little bit of patience.
Have to.
The 2021 free agency crop ain't that great. We're not even gonna play her. We may add some mid-level pieces there. We ain't really gonna play around with free agency this summer. And you let guys develop. Maybe you get a better Obi Toppin next year. You see what the next step is for Quickly. RJ Barrett, who we haven't talked about a lot, has come along.
Nice wing.
You let this group have another year season. And then maybe 2022, when the money's better around the league, when it's bigger fish in the sea, now we'll strike. I think the worst thing they could do if you're the Knicks is to say, we had this great year, now let's go crazy. And it's free. Mm-hmm. Don't do it. Mm-hmm. Let that thing marinate and cook.
Yeah.
A little bit more. And in 2022, we can strike when the iron's hot. But that's Knicks fans, we got them in the groove. We see how they roll. They so excited.
Absolutely.
We back, B. Word bond. We back. Yo, just chill out. Chill out for a little bit. Give another season.
So just to give a understanding of this too, the free agent class, I mean, you got the big three from Brooklyn will all be free. You got Kawhi, Jimmy got a player option, Kemba got a player option, Westbrook got a player option, John Wall got a player option, Steph Curry is set to be an unrestricted free agent.
22 is it.
I mean, Gary Harris, Zach LaVine, Terry Rozier.
Hell, what if we get Cardiac Kemba back in the garden with Julius?
Ooh.
UConn Kemba back in the garden.
That's on the guard level of bringing Patrick to the guard as a Knick, on the guard level.
And just like really driving that point home with the Knicks, if you just look at the Eastern Conference, it's about as balanced as you're going to get. It's a balanced breakfast. Once we take away Brooklyn,
right,
and we already know how funny style Brooklyn is, we know that's not going to be a dynasty. It's really a anything can happen type NBA because, Giannis, as good as he is, his supporting cast has not shown that he could get it done as of yet.
And
for whatever reason,
and Giannis elected to stay.
Yeah.
And when Giannis elected to stay, everybody's chances got better because now Giannis ain't gonna be with a star because ain't nobody going to Milwaukee. Let's keep it.
Unfortunately, but people would go to New York.
They would.
And with Boston, they haven't figured that thing out just yet. Whatever it is, could be the GM, could be the coach, could be, the Jaylen Brown Tatum combination, could be the role players. I have no idea. They just haven't figured that out yet. You know what I mean? Miami, they got a lot going on, but it's not anything that you just like, oh man, next 4 years, man, we can forget about it. Like everybody has an equal opportunity in this East. So if I'm Julius, I'm like, why not the Knicks? Why not?
Why not you?
Shoot, I'm looking at Washington the way they play it now. I'm like, in 2 years, if Russell Westbrook continue to play this way, why not? I don't know in this East. I really just don't know.
Yeah, because again, like I said, I don't think Brooklyn will be together for long.
Yeah,
there's just too much history, and this is not. You can call it throwing shade or whatever you want to call it. There's too much evidence on their three best players and how they move.
Let me give y'all something interesting. I'm going to give y'all something real interesting. I think Kyrie is probably going to retire from basketball in the next 3 seasons.
I do too.
I believe he's done after 3. I believe we may get this year, we may get next year, and we may get one more year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe after that, I believe James and KD are going to come together and they go sit and have that conversation. Who else will we like to win with? I think Russell Westbrook, KD, James Harden are going to find a way to come together. They're going to try to find a way to get Serge. I'm letting you know now, Stringer Bell is probably going to end up with them again.
So
they're going to try to run a stretch of at least 1 to 3 years and try to see if they can get that OKC ring that they thought that they should have been able to do. Russ came out and said, go ahead, Ham. I'll finish it after you.
I'm just saying this is going from the smallest market to the league to the largest.
And in a situation where we talking about Russ has said, he said it with Kevin Hart. He said, there is no doubt in my mind we made it as 23-year-olds to the NBA Finals.
Right.
So imagine them 3 getting together now as 33, 34-year-olds and saying for the next 2 to 3 years, we want nothing but butter. Nothing but this. I'll take 20. Let's just take 20 and let's get a couple other people around us and let's go ahead and let's rattle off a dynasty and ride off into the sunset the way we came in.
You're talking about taking 20 as a salary, right?
Yeah, taking $20 million in a situation like that.
And I'm not trying to tell cats how to get their loot, but that makes sense.
You know what? I know sentiment doesn't have a big place in sports, but for me, I would like to see it because we got cheated.
We did.
On that. Like, we got cheated. And I feel like if there's an opportunity to get them 3 dudes together, even if it's for 1 season, 2 seasons tops,
run it.
I would like to see.
Hey, run that.
I would. I really would, because they got cheated, man, and we got cheated.
Especially when you know the backstory of it, of how it came about. When you listen to Hard tell how the trade came about, it's like, yo, they got us with no ski masks as fans, just as hoop heads on this one. Because that was the one that, as adults through our adulthood, we were supposed to grow up with, and these young cats that was coming up watching the game were supposed to grow up with that dynasty.
To play the advocate in this too, though, James Harden had a horrible finals that year.
He did.
And Serge Ibaka showed upside, like he could be like on some Anthony Davis shit during the time.
Well, I think the key element of it was like when you in that position as a small market franchise and you acquired what they had,
right?
It's a luxury tax, Chief. It's like Ross and Wayne and all of them said on that old Ross album. It's the luxury tax. You gotta go.
No, they should have definitely let it play out 1 year because he still had a year on this contract. That's why it's so big.
That's the
you didn't have to do
He
anything.
did. Right.
That is the point.
You ain't have to do that.
Contract here. That's true. Right.
It wasn't necessary. You panicked.
And you
did do anything.
You panicked, but this is the part that gets me. Not only did you panic, you tried to make it into something where you acted like you had to choose. Like you ain't Chris Bender. You ain't choosing between one girl that's fulfilling your physical needs and the other girl providing for you mentally. This ain't what that was. This is a situation where y'all could have coexisted in a polyamorous relationship, and y'all could have made it happen.
Huh?
Yeah, it could have happened. Don't worry. Hey, look, don't worry. Hey, you listening?
How did we make this into polygamy?
Because at this stage
levels are great. Levels are great.
But I just want to be able to say we could have kept Serge. We could have kept James. You can't. I can't keep expressing this to people. It's just certain cats that you watch that you just know got it. And James is one of them cats. When you seen James as a rookie, you said, yo, he definitely got the goods to be one of them dudes on a team. KD, the same thing. You always said with Russ, it's going to be about fit. What is around him? Same thing with Serge. You had two blue chip pieces and two pieces that were trying to turn blue. And you decided to move the one piece that you knew was blue to go and take a green piece because Russ had the upside. And then you turned around after that. And then you brought Serge in, and Serge just showed you he was green too. So then you end up losing the blue chip piece to Golden State. And then you end up eventually losing all green and all the blues.
Hey, but they got 20 picks for it.
Your alkaline levels are tremendous. I just want you to know.
Hey, this is what I want y'all to do. Because we hoop heads. This is what I want y'all to do today. Go to Oklahoma City Thunder website. Pull up the roster. Put your fingers over Dort and SGA and tell me who the rest of that roster is. Tell me who you.
Oh, wait, and Al Horford, because he's still on the roster. Remember, he got shut down.
He at the crib. And he at the house.
I thought they sent him home.
They shut him down for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they sent
because they wanted to see what the rest of the team was like, because he was getting paid $27 million.
I looked at the box score the other night, and no lie, I like to think I'm up on these things. No lie, 6 of the people in the rotation, I had no idea who that was.
The fact that you mentioned Dort and you said besides Dort, like Dort is a household name, says everything you need to know about that roster.
I said Dort because we talked about Dort on the award show 2 weeks ago. So I think I had to at least know that. But him, SGA, after that, Darius Bazley, because I said him on the show too. But take them 3 out. The rest
who they coach?
I don't know.
See?
I don't know. Legitimately, I don't know. Maybe be on some funny stuff. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Hey, we can never clown TNT again.
Hey, TNT, we with you. We don't know. Shout out Shaq, Barkley, y'all know.
Oh, yeah, man.
And that's actually my favorite segment on TNT. Who he play for?
Who he play for?
But this is what we are going to do. While you keep talking, Big Shot, I'm going to look up this squad, and I'm going to tell y'all who is on the squad because I don't like not knowing. I like to educate myself in this game that I said that I love.
Who he play for? Oklahoma City.
Yo, that is funny. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. They got a lot of what they have on their team, because I'm not gonna act like I know all these players either. What they have on their team, they just got they got a bunch of European players. That's like Europe. OKC FC.
Oh,
Okay.
FC Oklahoma City.
FC Oklahoma. So
No, they're actually like a AAU team that I look at. You ever seen that one team that walk in the building and they all 16U and everybody is 6'8" and nobody got a position? But you know they pressing because nobody can't really do anything special. They don't shoot no threes.
MJ, name their
that's
roster.
the fun.
Name their roster. Let's see if we can figure this out.
Okay, so you said Darius Baisley. You said
Baisley,
Dort.
and SGA. Take them 3 out.
Okay, and Horford. All right, so we got Tony Bradley, who came from Utah.
Germs guy, Slaw.
Oh yeah, the one that fell down, getting the rebound. Got you.
Hey, we got Moses Brown, who was a part of a video that he wasn't even the one that everybody was like giving love to. It was the actual point guard who told him to put his chin up.
I remember that.
Yeah, Moses Brown made it to the league. We have Charlie Brown Jr. I cannot make this up.
Charlie Brown from Peanuts got a son in the league.
No, Charlie Brown Jr. Hey, he went to St. Joseph's. So shout out to St. Joseph's. They have a dude by the name of Gabriel Deck from Argentina who looked like he actually looked like, you know, one of the doubles, Unsolved Mysteries. You know how they do the reenactment.
Okay, hold on. Stop right here before you continue. Ham.
You got Josh Hall.
Ham, do you know any of these people?
I'm familiar with the Moses Brown cat because from the meme. And
Okay.
as I'm looking at the roster as we go along with this as well. Shout out to Moses Brown. He got the same birthday as my mom's. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Tony Bradley, I'm familiar with him too. But outside
That's
of this,
Germs guy. I remember that name. That's Germs guy.
So we got Josh Hall. We got Jalen Horde. Ty Jerome, I know him.
Whoa, Josh. Who Josh Hall?
Josh Horde. Oh no, Josh Hall. Josh Hall is
Josh Hall.
He's from USA. He's 6'9" though.
I think Josh Hall was my car insurance salesman, my first car in high school.
And he's 6'9" though, so it's like he probably was the dude that was like reaching on the top shelf at Walmart.
Yeah, he's not even 21 years old yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't old enough to drink.
Okay,
we got Jalen Horde from Wake Forest.
We got who?
Jalen Horde from Wake Forest.
I heard of him, but I don't remember seeing him play. He played for Dan.
We got Theo Maladon. Now, credit to me, I actually said from a second round standpoint, he will be a productive dude. He averages 10 points.
Draft show, I remember him.
Yeah, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And he came from France, rookie. Ty Jerome, we told about him from Virginia. You got my guy, Millicott from Detroit. You remember him? He kind of grinded his way. He came from Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he there. He averages a solid 8. You got Alexei Pokusvili from Yugoslavia. They drafted him this year too. That real skinny 7-footer.
He's 7 feet, 190 pounds.
This guy right here, Big Shot. You looking at the screen?
Yeah. Who's the man is this?
Yeah, that dude from Kansas. That was the shooter.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember him from Kansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Mike Muscala, who always gets like just traded everywhere. I hope he finds a home.
Yeah, he's steady employment.
Isaiah Roby, I actually picked him up on my fantasy team for a whole 2 weeks and let him go.
That's your son.
I mean, how about we not put my business out the street today? Not today. I'll mess it around. No, that's what Isaiah's gonna get that tall though, probably. That boy 6'8". I can see it. I just hope he don't challenge no more calls on 2K. That's all I care about at this point. Just don't challenge no more calls.
He challenged a call for Oklahoma City.
Oh man. I mean, that's the team he's gonna end up playing
He
for.
came from New Orleans. We had Kendrick Williams who came from New Orleans. He could play a little bit, but once again, it's just like, okay. So yeah, so they are really invested in these 25 picks they got for the next 6 years. And it's 25. But they've been competitive.
Unmute yourself, Big Shot. Unmute yourself.
So of the list you just named, MJ, legitimately, we took out the ones I already knew. I legitimately knew two. Pam, how many you knew?
Ty Jerome. That's it.
Hey,
From a real like on court basketball standpoint, Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome, Mike, the guys we named, and
right.
And then I knew who dude was from or what's the name that we talked about last that MJ said, but that was it. I didn't really know.
Yeah, New Orleans.
So if you added all four of us up together, we did know that whole roster.
And I can't even pronounce the coach name.
And I blame that we didn't have a summer league. I blame COVID because if we would have a summer league, I would have known him.
Who the coach?
Damn.
I can't pronounce this dude's name.
Barry? Coach Barry? Is Coach Barry the coach?
Let me go back to them.
It's Coach Barry.
Coach Barry will have a hard.
Mark Dagnago. Well, I don't know, man. I mean,
come on, man. This man's made up.
I butchered like 4 names reading that, so it's okay. It's not
it's like Mark Dagno. I'm gonna take a stab in and say that's what it is, Dagno. Which, hey,
the fact that the four of us really don't know who this coach is hilarious.
Yeah. But
I had to check myself because I was gonna say Billy Donovan. I'm like, nope, he ain't that.
And he was on Billy's staff though.
Yeah, so they just moved him up. Okay.
They just moved him up. That part
it is. Who he played for? Oklahoma City Thunder edition.
That's tough, y'all. That's really tough.
Like I know a couple people on Houston who is god awful.
Yo, this dude that's coaching ain't been. He was on an assistant in the league for 1 year.
Must be nice,
man. This gonna tell me everything I need to know. What's his coaching salary?
$2 million.
$20 an hour.
Yeah.
He does not make the same amount as a Steak and Shake manager. Stop it.
Well, he's managing a Steak and Shake franchise right now. Because boy, I'm telling you,
they don't have it listed on reference, or at least I hadn't found it yet. It might be on
intern. He an intern. That man on work experience.
His contract. That's the thing. His contract, y'all. I'm telling y'all, is nothing more than about 1.5, if that. And we talking about a situation where he's in a situation where if they continue to grow and develop, they'll grow and develop until they get to a certain point, and then he's gonna be kicked out, and then we're gonna get to the big name coaches. It happens every time.
With respect to us, we had already draw a line in the sand at the beginning of the season, and we are not talking about nobody that ain't winning. So this is not by accident or coincidence. They haven't been winning, so we had no reason to talk about.
Let me tell you something, Ham. And MJ, Jerm, you relatively new, but in the early days of '94, remember how bad we talked about Philadelphia?
It's worse.
This is worse. Aaron Awalk.
Hey man, well, we accused them of a Ponzi scheme though, man.
Awalk, all our Philadelphia brethren. We sorry.
We are. I'm sorry. I'm definitely sorry.
I'm not going to apologize for that. I can't apologize for that because the Sixers had 30 dudes on the roster.
We sorry.
The Sixers had 30 dudes on the roster, man.
And they had interns. Them folks had interns for real.
And Joel had played the first 3 seasons. You know, so it's like, come on, man. But
this is terrible. This Oklahoma City thing. This is bad.
But I don't know, man. I'm still leaning Oklahoma City on the favorable side. On the Philly was gangster about it, man.
You know what? Oh, hey, if Philly was a Ponzi scheme, Oklahoma City GameStop.
This is fair.
This is crypto coin.
No, crypto's popping. They ain't popping.
This isn't popping. Okay, I'm sorry. Shout out to crypto.
Crypto's good.
This is fair. I like the game.
This is tap water. Now that we got alkaline.
Hey, look, it's definitely tap water. They got they need some Mucinex. That's what they need.
Let's go.
I don't even know if Mucinex. That's what's that stuff that clear your pipes out?
Yeah, you see that commercial, that big green thing that was riding the motorcycle?
With all the mucus joint.
Handle talk about live.
And his voice was raspy. I'm one big mucus. Like his voice was raspy and shit. Y'all gotta get that about you. That shit ain't good.
Hey, NJ, but this is the thing. They keep adding mucus with all these draft picks. They clogged up. They got draft picks.
Hey man,
they need to rid themselves of the phlegm. They got a lot of phlegm in their lineup, and I think it's just not good for their system. Their chest cavity is okay.
Hey man, them folks is at 8th grade graduation scout this weekend.
Hey, their nose is runny like a kindergarten in the wintertime. You know how the snot go to the top lip, and they accidentally lick their snot. That's what they're going through right now. Man, they just need a cleanser.
If you have, I'm gonna give my advice.
I need a drink.
Hey, my advice to all parents: if your son is cold and he is under the age of 16, don't worry. Oklahoma City, hold on.
They taking anybody 7 feet under 200 pounds that can cover the court in 10 steps. That's the only prerequisite. You don't gotta do shit else. You ain't gotta catch.
Oh man!
If you're in the high school class of 2027,
man,
hold tight.
Right.
Hold tight.
I saw a little 7-year-old guard that was really putting in work, man. Maybe, just maybe, he'll be in the Thunder jersey.
Except for Jay Newman. No, except for him.
Hey, let me just say this. Y'all folks crazy. I just want y'all to know, at this rate, what it looks like it happened is people are gonna be looking at Oklahoma City saying, you know what? I don't even want to go there. Let me go ahead and do this 4 years in college.
But Jerm, their jersey color even looks like mucus. What can you do with that?
Mucus. FC mucus, man.
Phlegm, man. Get the phlegm out y'all body.
Oh, man.
Get the phlegm out.
I just want to know what they really going to do with 20-something.
I mean, you can move 5 of them and get a superstar.
Ain't nobody coming to that mucus-driven country place. What they gonna do? They gonna go in there and catch a cold? You keep lobbing these up to me, man. I don't want to be on their head, but at some point we have to talk about health. We have to talk about our health.
If I'm the league, I would really. I know the league try not to like step in on stuff like that, but Sam Presti might get called into the office if I'm Adam Silver. Because what are y'all doing? Like legitimately, what is the plan with 21 draft picks? What are y'all doing that you probably cannot trade?
Playing Uno. I ain't never seen Uno be played with draft picks before. I think that's what he on.
You cannot move all those picks. You can't. So what are they?
All of them technically can't be on the roster. So that makes he has. Think about this. For his team and his G League team, he has more picks to where he can't even keep them on them. It's sad, man. We're going to get y'all right, though, man. We're going to get y'all right. Trust in Presti. Hopefully, in those 21 picks, he can run off something similar to what he ran off with Westbrook, KD, James Harden, and Serge on those picks.
Let me tell you something. If they don't, then it's terrible. You're a terrible GM if you get 21 first-round picks and don't none of them hit. You are the worst GM in the history of basketball.
Yeah, you can't even buy a game no more. They don't want you playing 2K. None of that.
You can't play fantasy.
Yeah,
no. You cannot play FanDuel.
DraftKings gonna ban you. All that.
Man, he gonna turn out to be the dude that messed up what could have been and messed up what should have been. Ain't that about him? You know what? That's it.
Trying to be
cheap. Man, he worse than it. He worse than Michael Rappaport on the New Edition movie, man.
Oh, he was horrible. See, I gotta go to GM on that, man.
We're gonna wrap it up at that point because
we're gonna wrap it up. So the Oklahoma City section of the program might be its own show. I don't know. Because
he went on Philly. So
I'm mad we spent this much time talking about, sickness.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Al Kaline.
It's okay. They're just an unclean organization. They need to be cleaned.
Just make sure you sound like that. That's classic.
What?
Especially when you with the hood and the shades. That was like some real Morpheus.
Hey, MJ's new name is Dark Vader. Dark Vader.
That's the reason why I had this all black on, man. My spirits and my alkaline levels was telling me this is not going to be a fun show. And unfortunately, it hasn't been because we had to talk about the Thunder. There's a lot of thunder going on, and that's the problem. Y'all not bundled up, and y'all getting sick off the Thunder.
Oh, man.
So, look.
Need some sunshine in your life. Y'all need to be Oklahoma City Sunny.
We're going to wrap this up. This show is going completely off the rails. Shout out Trav, checked in with us. Shout out Germ for getting us right on the play-in. So now we know what the play-in is doing. Ham. Shout out Al Kaline, a.k.a. Dark Vader, a.k.a. MJ. 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Remember, the playoff preview show on the 17th. We definitely are going to get that out there. Now, I'm going to say this about the playoff preview show, and here we're going to go. I want y'all to agree with me, please. Y'all not going to be calling our show in from the underground train system. Clean, quiet areas, good internet. MJ talked about no mucus. No mucus in your internet if you're going to be on the playoff preview show.
Can't be, no. No phlegm.
Mucus-free internet, quiet backgrounds. But we'll give y'all the rules on that when we get closer to it, man. 94 Feet of Life, Scene Family. We had fun with y'all. It's Friday fun. We told y'all Freestyle Fridays. You never know what you're going to get. Shout out Oklahoma City Thunder, though. I
root for you. I want y'all to be clean.
Yeah, we want y'all to be clean, and hopefully y'all might be better than Oklahoma soon. Maybe. Basketball, for the people, by the people. We out of here.